All right, what's up, Bulldogs? So I got a question about what happens when you cold approach. Basically, what goes through my mind when I would do cold approaches, and what am I thinking? What is that kind of thought process? And I thought this was pretty interesting because when I break this down, it might help you to really get how I'm looking at things. And I've coached a lot of guys in becoming successful over a very short period of time. And so I want to kind of give you the hacks of that by going through my mental process, right? Of when I used to cold approach, what would I do? And what would I be thinking, right? So first of all, the way that I would go about this is I would pre-frame my mindset such that I'm on the hunt. I'm looking right now for any opportunity. And I would think about the adrenaline rush that I would feel in seeing a girl that I was attracted to and going up to her, just doing that bold action. Especially what I would use actually was interesting is that I think a lot of guys are afraid that a girl's going to reject them. Other people are going to see them being rejected. And so that actually discourages them from cold approaching. But I would think about how cool I'm going to be going up to this girl that other guys would be afraid to approach, or that people around me would be like, damn, that guy, he's got some balls on him that he just went up and talked to this girl that he doesn't know and just hit on her right here. And so it would actually fuel me on. So that'd be kind of the mindset that I would enter into when I was going about this. Then what I would do is I would, as soon as I see a girl that I was attracted to, that I wanted to approach, I would make a beeline for her, right? Mentally, I would say, okay, here it is. It's almost like not giving myself time to really think about it, not giving myself time to back out of this or to think of excuses or reasons why not to do it, but also really, for me, it was feeding on that adrenaline of like, okay, just by going and doing this immediately, it's almost like you're pushing yourself into this thing. Like, you can almost think of it as jumping out of a plane, like skydiving. Like, it's like crazy. It's like, okay, now we're going right now. This is what's happening right now. And so I'm just forcing myself. It's not even forcing, because there's not a lot of will or effort involved in this. I'm just instantly telling myself that I'm going to instantly do this thing. And so while I'm on the way, walking there, I don't even have time to think, right? Because my adrenaline is so high. I'm putting myself in that fight or flight mode where I just have a narrow focus on exactly what I'm gonna do. And so it's this excitement, right? So you can really couch fear and anxiety as one of two things. You can see it as something bad, right? And something to avoid, or you can feel it as excitement, because physiologically, it's the same exact feeling, right? Being afraid and being excited, it feels exactly the same. And so you can use that as a hack. And so, that's the thing that I would be after, right? I would be after the thrill of it, really. Even when I was doing a lot of cold approach and I was picking up girls and whatnot, and, by the time I got them home or to my hotel room or whatever it was, I sort of already won. I sort of like, it might sound bad, but I wasn't as interested anymore, right? Because to me, the thing was, it was about the hunt, it was about the kill, it was about chasing down that target and going after it and being able to succeed at that. So that's really the mindset that I had going into it. So then, okay, so I go up to the girl. What do I say? What do I do? It's kind of interesting because I don't have this premeditated, and I suggest that you don't either, right? I mean, sure, there's some things that I might have said often, but most of the time, I don't even know what I'm going to say, and that's why it's even hard for me to say it now. It's even hard for me to tell you because it depends on the context, right? I'm immediately going to just go with my gut, my instinct on what should I say to this girl. Maybe I tell this girl, oh yeah, you're looks like you're too young to be here, or maybe I'm commenting on her dress or style, or maybe I'm just looking her up and down and just smiling and just saying, hey, I just saw you from over there, and I just had to come by and meet you real quick here. So, it doesn't, I don't know what it's going to be at the time. In fact, it's hard for me to recall some of the things that I said. I do remember one time at a nightclub in Vegas going up to a girl, and she was with a friend of hers, and she was smoking a cigarette, and I said, oh yeah, that's no good for you. That's not, and at the time I was smoking a cigarette. Not that I recommend doing that, and I don't smoke anymore, by the way. I don't drink anymore either, but she was like, oh, well, aren't you smoking too? Or she said to me, what are you, my dad? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm old enough to be your dad. And that's how the conversation started. And you can imagine where that went, right? So it's sort of like that spontaneity is, I'm not trying to premeditate, not pre-think this. And I think that part of the reason why I did this and why I started doing things this way was because I discovered that when I started to think about things ahead of time and sort of premeditate things, I get into my head, right? You don't want to be in your head. You want to be in the moment, in the present moment, flowing, right? And this is sober, by the way, right? Not to say that you couldn't drink if you wanted to, but you shouldn't. When you're going out, when you're doing cold approach, you should absolutely not be drinking. Instead, you should be being sober, because you're going to be a lot more cognizant and you're going to be a lot more sharp. And also, you're not going to be using it as a crutch, because yeah, you could get more courage. It can be easier for you to go and talk to a girl when you're drinking, when you're inebriated a little bit. But the thing is that you're not going to gain any real skill. You're not going to really develop that ability, because you're using this as a crutch. Like, you're going to develop the drunk version of you is going to develop skills, but not the sober version of you. And you want the sober version of you to develop skills, right? So yeah, so that's what would be going through my head. The other thing that'd be going through my head is that I'm such a badass. Look at me. Look at me going. Like, as I'm walking, I'm like, damn. Like, it doesn't even matter what happens at this point. This is going to be fucking thrilling. This is going to be fun, right? Because it is, because it's exciting, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how she's going to react. You don't know what you're going to say. You know, it's like, just having the balls to do this is enough to make your whole night feel good, because you know that you see guys standing around and you see they're not doing it. And so that has to be enough for you. And that was enough for me, because it's the thrill of that hunt, right? And so when I have primed myself with that mindset where it's more about the thrill of the hunt, I'm not thinking about, oh, what if she doesn't like me, or what if she rejects me, right? I already think I'm such a badass. I am the shit, that when I'm walking up to her, when I'm striding up to her, I'm already striding up like the shit, because it's not even I'm trying to do it. It's that because I got this mental image, this mental voice in my head that is telling me that I'm such a fucking badass for doing this. And it's true. It's not even false, right? Because who has the balls to do it? Who has the balls to just go up and talk to some girl and to flirt with her or to tease her, right? And that's what I would frequently do, is do some kind of a tease. It just depends on the context, right? So I don't want to give you exact language and words, because it's going to sound silly. It's going to sound silly, whatever I say in this video, because it's out of context. But in that context, in that situation, you just have to go with your gut, right? And sometimes you might say something stupid. Who cares? It doesn't matter, because as long as you're going with your gut and you're staying out of your head and staying in that present moment, like, you just have to think that I'm such a badass for doing this that nothing else literally matters. It doesn't even matter what I say. And you know, when I would coach guys frequently, I'd have them do some challenges to help them do this, where I tell them, hey, you're gonna go up to this girl, all right, and you're not gonna say anything at all. You're just gonna look at her. You're gonna look like you're gonna say something. You're just gonna walk up to her and just, you know, just smile, just wait for her to say something first. And what would happen so many times is they would get into great conversations. Like, they would end up having a lot of success from doing that. Why? Because they have taken their ability to overthink away, right? Because yeah, they're nervous in that situation. It's fucking scary. But think about what kind of badass it takes to be able to do that. It takes a real serious fucking badass to be able to do that. And so when you can recontextualize things in this manner, and you see yourself as that, the girl is going to sense that. She's going to feel that we talk about frame control, and you're creating this super powerful frame because it's so true to you, right? And so for me, it was so true to me. And you know, then what would happen after I'm talking with this girl? Well, I'm just acting natural. I'm just flirting with her. I'm just going with that present moment, but I'm riding on this high of what I've just accomplished. I've just done something that 99% of guys would be afraid to do, and then it doesn't really matter at that point. Yeah, there's some things to know about logistics and game and storytelling and all of these things, but ultimately, if I tell you the real truth here, and you're not going to like this, but I'll tell you what I'm doing when I'm talking to this girl. What I'm doing is I am giving her my undivided attention. I am making her feel like she is just amazing, that she's special, that she's like the only woman that exists in the world at this point. Right? Not diminishing myself in any way, but rather than me trying to seduce her, I'm allowing myself to be seduced by her. And that is the thing. I'm coming with a spirit of curiosity. I really want to know about this girl. I'm coming with this fascination of the feminine, of this fascination of this beauty. That's what I'm coming with. And that is the romantic element of this. Even you're picking up a girl, it doesn't matter. Like, so many guys are like, I need to be like standoffish and be like, it's not a big deal. No. You need to be like this isn't like, she is a big deal. However, it doesn't matter, it doesn't phase you, right? So I would come across in my communication, but mostly in my thought, right? Because that's the most important thing, in seeing the beauty of this feminine, exquisite, you know, you can see the beauty in all feminine. That's really key. But to see it in this moment, right? And to think of this as the most romantic love affair that has ever existed, and this amazing just, you know, spark of connection that that's taking place here, right? And when I'm thinking of it that way, it unfolds that way because I'm creating that narrative, I'm creating that story, and it becomes truth, right? Now, yeah, maybe not every girl is going to be interested, and that's fine. But I'm just going to walk away. I'm just going to dismiss it. It's not a big deal. I'm still involved in this captivating moment of learning about this fascinating girl, right? And you might say, oh, well, John, you're putting her on a pedestal. No, no, no. No, at my choosing, I'm the one who's doing it. It's not out of my control, right? I'm making her feel like the way that I'm responding and the way that I'm acting is like she's just got some power over me. But in reality, I'm retaining my power. I'm not allowing myself to get into a place where I'm feeling needy, like I have to have this happen, or I have to have her, or I need her approval. Instead, I'm just fascinated, just wanting to find out more, just wanting to explore this opportunity. And when you do it that way, all of a sudden the pressure is off. It doesn't matter, right? So the natural thing to do is going to be to get her phone number, or to have her come with you, or to go to the dance floor, or whatever the thing is that you're feeling in that moment. And women can sense this. They can feel this. They can feel that you're having a good time. You're enjoying this whole process. You're enjoying this flirtation. You're enjoying the challenge that she puts up when she does say something that, and you're going back and forth with this. You're creating this dynamic. You understand? And it all has to do with the way that you're initially approaching this idea and coming up to it. Because when you feel like you're the shit just for doing this, and you feel like just the people that are witnessing you, that they know that you are the shit, right? That at least that they know that they can't do what you're doing right now. It changes that dynamic. And it makes it so that you don't have to prove yourself. Instead, you can lean into who she is, right? And, I'll tell you, I was talking about one of the best books written, I think, on attracting women, Dan Perion's book, The Alabaster Girl, which I was rereading. And he says in there, and it's very true, is that a man who loves women is loved by women. If you have that in your mind, and that's what I would always hold in my mind, if you're thinking negative about that woman, she can feel it, just like a dog can feel when you're a dangerous person, you're angry, you're upset. A dog can sense that. A woman can absolutely sense that. She can sense where you are with it. And again, I'm not saying going up and just worshiping the ground that she walks on and being a pushover and trying to please her and impress her and trying to get her to like you. That's not the same thing as being genuinely curious, genuinely enamored by the feminine beauty before you and worshiping at the feet of the feminine beauty. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a devotion. That is a romance that all women dream of. And when you bring that energy. And that's what I would do in those interactions. It's intoxicating. Right? You can't get rejected. Like she might politely pass, but you're not going to get rejected. I can tell you for sure. So that's it. That's what's going through my mind when I'm cold approaching. Okay. I don't do it anymore. I'm happily married, lovely wife, but I coach guys for a long time, and I still coach guys on this, just not in person anymore. But there you have it. If you want some help with all this stuff, I've got my own text messages. I've got examples. I've got content on night game and day game and all that stuff. All in the Bulldog Mindset membership. Click the link, check it out, and I'll see you tomorrow.